What is going on, guys? We are back to address another common dieting question, and that is, what do we do if we struggle with overeating at night? So the first thing that, in order to kind of solve this issue, is to identify why in the first place this is even happening. So some common causes are restricting yourself too much during the day. So either, let's say you're just trying to okay, I'm going to try to eat as low amount of calories as possible, and that way, I'll lose weight faster. But what ends up happening is this can backfire, and it causes you to massively overeat at night because you get so hungry that you kind of hit the F it button and just eat whatever. This can either come in the form of restricting total calories in general, or from restricting a certain macronutrient, such as fat. Fat plays a role in long-term satiety, so what can happen is if we try to eat, not for everyone, but for some people, if they try to eat too low fat during the day, it kind of builds and builds and builds, and so by the time night rolls around, they're famished. And then another thing is an environment change. So you're switching from, typically most people in the morning and the afternoon, they go to work, they kind of have the routine, they do their thing, and so they're not really in a very social environment. They're kind of in control of everything. But when night rolls around, they kind of switch to a more social setting, whether it's dinner with a family or going out with a friend. And then maybe the weight loss diet is just too aggressive. So by that I mean maybe it's just too low in calories. The deficit is too big. And then another one is just if your body fat is below its natural set point. So kind of where it likes to be in terms of how much body fat you're carrying. And then boredom and emotional eating. So once we've identified the reason why we're overeating, once we have identified the cause of this, now we can decide whether we need to address this issue or not. So the first thing to look at then would be, what is the cause? Because this does matter. I mean, if it is an emotional issue related reason, or if it is just something like you are in a social environment and you're with your friends and family. So the cause matters, and then as well as how often it's happening. Some common solutions. It's fairly obvious, but the way that we fix the issue, the way that we solve this overeating problem is by first addressing the specific reason as to why it's happening. So if it's restricting calories, that means we need to do something that's going to break that pattern. If it's something with emotional eating, that means we're going to do something to fix that issue. So whatever is causing the overeating at night, that is the specific issue that we need to address in order to fix it, which is why it's important that we identify the cause first. So if the issue is restricting yourself too much during the day, first, stop it. But no, seriously, try spreading your calories out as well as your macronutrients. So kind of like I talked, spreading your fat out more evenly throughout the day. So instead of trying to kind of save all those calories for later in the day, or instead of thinking, well, I'm going to eat less in the morning, so if I do that, that means, I'll lose more weight. Try to kind of spread your food out more evenly throughout the day to help better control your hunger. And then maybe even save some calories. Like I have a lot of clients, and I do this especially, is I just like to save some calories either for a bedtime snack or so that way you can have a slightly larger dinner. That way if you tend to get hungrier at night, save some calories for that to account for that. The key is to save some calories, not all of the calories. Again, we're trying to get away from the pattern of restricting ourselves too much during the day. So save some calories, but don't save all your calories. And then personally for me, I found that my before bed snack, if I save some fat, then that tends to do a good job of helping with satiety throughout the night. So I have a blend of protein, some carbs, and fat. But I found especially keeping and adding in some fat to that last meal does do a good job of slowing digestion and keeping me full. And then something you enjoy. So with a lot of my clients, or even with myself, I'll make that last meal maybe like a little treat or something that I enjoy, as long as I account for total calories. And then the next cause would be an environment change. So first thing first is, this is totally normal, and I'm not saying that this should be avoided. This should definitely not be avoided, especially for the context of this video is for a sustainable lifestyle change. Eating with friends, eating with family is very important, so you should not avoid this environment. But what you should do is be aware of it and prepare accordingly. So what I mean by this is, one is if you know that your dinners are typically bigger than the rest of the day, it kind of goes back to being aware of that and saving some calories. That way when you get to dinner, you haven't like eaten all of your calories and then you're put in this situation where you have nothing left except either to starve yourself or go over. So just knowing that, okay, my dinners, I know I enjoy with my family, we go out to eat, we're doing this, maybe I have an event that night, so I probably need to save some calories, but not all of my calories to be aware of that and account for that. And then make diet-friendly, healthy choices most of the time. So keeping in terms of like your total calorie allotment for the day, and then portion control. So, again, if you're going to enjoy these different foods because it is a lifestyle change, just practicing portion control and then making healthy choices most of the time. And then another cause is either dieting too aggressively or the body fat being too low. If the diet is too aggressive, one thing to do is you can reduce your deficit. So by that I mean you can still have a deficit which will help with weight loss and lead to weight loss, but maybe not make it so intense. That way you're still getting weight loss, but it's not as dramatic, so your appetite's not so high. Another one is to adjust your feeding patterns to maximize satiety. So maybe if you've been trying like 3 bigger meals a day and you just find yourself getting starving between each meal, well then maybe try 6 smaller meals, or vice versa. If you tried 6 and you're like, man, I just feel like I'm never hungry and I'm never full and I'm just focused on food all day, well maybe try grouping some stuff together and having bigger meals. Just kind of playing around with how you distribute your calories during the day. And then another one would be adjusting your macronutrient ratios. So that would be kind of looking at your relative proportion of protein, fat, and carbs. And then if your body fat levels are too low, so if they're below where your body likes to naturally be, one, don't shoot the messenger. I didn't make it up. I didn't code the genetic code. But essentially what happens is as we lose body fat, and as we especially get below our natural body fat set point, our appetite starts to go up because our body does not want us to lose weight. Obviously, it's trying to keep us alive, so our appetite will go up to help fight this. And the more weight we lose and the leaner we get, the more our appetite gets increased. So you can try playing around with the above, mixing around, maybe changing your macronutrient ratios or how you're distributing your calories. Play around with all those, but also keeping aware of what is realistic in terms of your genetics, in terms of where you can kind of walk around comfortably and live a normal, healthy life while still, being proud of your physique and all of that different stuff. So finding that balance of what's going to make you happy as well as what's not going to make you overly restricted. And then another one is boredom and emotional eating. So boredom, the main cure for that would be finding other hobbies, interests, or activities that stimulate you. What do you like to do? Do you like to read? Do you have other hobbies? Do you play sports? Do you like to woodwork? It could be anything, but something besides food. And then emotional eating. This is an entirely separate presentation in itself. There's a lot that goes into this, but the main crux of it all is to address the cause. So whether it's a feeling of loneliness or whether it's stresses at work or whether it's just something emotional related, again, maybe making up for a void in some other area of your life, the main thing to do to obviously fix the issue is going to be to address the problem that's causing it. And then any questions you guys have, any feedback, feel free to leave those in the comment section below. Also, give me your feedback on how you like this style of video, with the little me kind of in the little corner and just kind of using this as a method to kind of address some of these main dieting issues, these main topics. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next one.